Hey, what's up guys, CodeForge here, welcome in the next video. Today we'll learn how to build a score counter application for Android device using Kotlin language. So we will build the application like the one you can find on the screen. So we will have two teams, home and away, and we will be able to increase the score for both of the teams and also decrease the score. And after the match is done, we can reset the score. And by the way, you can see that I have started the emulator in the Android Studio itself. This feature is available since version 4.1 of the Android Studio. And to enable this feature, you want to double hit the Shift key on your keyboard and you want to write down emulator. And you want to select the option with the settings label over here. After clicking it, the settings window will appear and you want to check this checkbox with the launch in a tool window checkbox. After this, you have to hit apply, OK, and you have to restart the Android Studio. We'll start with creating a new project. So we want to go to the file, new, and we want to select new project. Here we'll leave empty activity as the default option. We will click next. Here we'll give a name of score counter and we'll change the package name to CodeForge YouTube. And we'll leave the save location as default. Language is also okay. We'll use the API, let's say 27 is okay, and we will click finish. And now we have to wait for the generation of the project and for the Gradle to install all the required dependencies. And here we are, project is imported and all of the dependencies are installed. Let's move to the design view, and in the first place we'll take care of the UI itself. Let's make it as big as possible and it looks good. In the first place, we'll get rid of the default text displayed in the middle. So we'll select it and we'll hit delete. We'll build our UI using the table layout. So we want to go to the palette and we want to select layouts. And from here, we want to take the table layout and we want to drag it over here. If we take a look on the component tree and we'll click the table layout, we can see that we have multiple table rows added over here. And we can use them to position our components. At the top of our UI, we'll have two text views, the one with the text home and the second one with the text away. To add them from the palette, we want to go to the common, and from here we want to take the text view and drag it to the first table row over here. And we want to do it again because we'll also have the second text view with the text away. Let's increase the text size of those text views. So we want to select the first one. We want to go to the attributes and over here we'll look for the text size. And we can see that right now it is 14 SP and we'll change it to the, let's say, 24. Let's also change the second attribute of this text view and it will be layout underscore weight. And we want to set it to 1. And by changing this attribute, we can see that this text view is now taking the entire space that is left. Let's also change the ID for this. So we will remove this one and the ID will be TextView home. And we want to hit enter and we want to hit refactor. Also, we would like to change the text view text to the home text, and to do it, we have to open the project. We want to navigate to the resources, values, and we want to open the file that is called strings.xml. Over here, we can define constants, which can be displayed in the user interface. We'll add few entries over here. So let's copy the first line and let's paste it. And we'll define the string with the key or the name that is home. And it will have the value of home. And also we'll do it for the away. So the key will be away and the value will be also away. We will also define the constant for the initial score. So we'll paste it one more time and we'll change the name from the app name to initial underscore score and we'll set it to 0. Now we can go back to our design view. And now we can use our strings. So actually the TextView home is selected. We want to go to the attributes. We want to go to the text attribute and we want to click the button over here. And right now we can select from the different strings and we want to select home string. We want to click OK and we can see that the home string has been displayed. Now we will repeat these steps for the second text view. So in the first place, we want to select it and we'll change the ID. So it will be text view away and you want to hit enter and you want to refactor it. And also let's select the string that will be displayed. And this time you want to select away string. So the away text will be displayed. We will also change the layout weight to 1. So we want to hit 1, enter, and now we can see that our text views are placed evenly. And we'll also increase the text size. So let's look for it. And we'll change it to 24 SP. And the last thing that we want to do over here is to center the text in the text views. So we want to look for the attribute that is called gravity. And now we can click this flag over here and select center. And we want to hit apply. And we want to do the same for the home. Again, we are clicking the flag, we are checking the center option and we're clicking apply. We have the home and away labels, and now we also have to add the score for both of the teams. We don't want to repeat these steps for each of the text views, so we'll simply copy home by selecting it, clicking the Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, and we have the home right now. And from the component tree, we want to select the copy and drag it to the second table row. We'll change the ID in the first place, so we want to get rid of this. And over here, we want to change it to the text view home score. And we want to hit enter, of course, and refactor. We'll also increase the text size, so it will be 30, let's say. And instead of the home text, we want to display 0 because this is the initial score. So for the text attribute, we want to click the button and we want to select initial score value. We want to click OK and we can see that the score has been changed to 0. Now we will copy this text view. So again, we want to select it. We want to hit Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. And all we have to do to finish it up is to change the ID and we'll remove the 2 from the end and we'll change the text view home score to text view away score. And we'll hit enter and we'll hit refactor. Okay, and now we'll add buttons. So user will be able to increase and decrease the score for both of the teams. Since we want to use the image buttons, first we have to add icons to our project. And to do it, we have to open the project view. And over here, we want to click on the main project folder of our application. We want to right click it, select new, and we want to select vector asset. Asset Studio window appeared, and over here you can add the icons or so-called clip art to your project. And to do it, we want to click on the clip art button over here, and the dialog with different icons appeared. Those are basically the material icons, and we want to select this one. We want to click OK, and we want to click Next, and we want to click Finish. Now, if we will navigate to the resources drawable and we'll open it up, we can see that this baseline add icon has been added. It's really nice feature, but we'll need 2 more icons. So again, we want to right click on the project. We want to select new and vector asset. So we have the icon for increasing the score. We will also need the one for decreasing the score. So again, we want to click on the clip art and we'll filter and we want to select remove. Okay, finish it up. And it is already added to our resources. And the last icon for resetting score. So again, we want to open the Vector Asset Studio, and over here we want to look for the clear. We want to select it, OK, next, and finish. So we have the icons. Now we can add the image buttons to our UI. To add one, we want to go to the palette, we want to select buttons, and we want to pick the image button. We'll drag it and drop it on the third table row. Before the image button will be added, we have to pick a resource from the resource window, and this one will be for increasing the score, so we want to select the add graphic. And yeah, we want to click OK. And it's here on our UI. And in the first place, we will change the ID from the image button to image button increment home. We want to hit enter and we want to refactor it. We'll also change the layout weight and we'll set it to 1 and we'll also hit enter. Now we can simply copy it by hitting Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and we'll change the ID from the image button increment home to increment away, and we'll hit enter to refactor it. And now before we will proceed and we'll add the rest of the buttons, we can see that right now we are getting accessibility warnings for our buttons and I cannot display it, and yeah, it's here. So we are missing the content description attribute on image. And to add it, we have to navigate to the strings.xml. We have to add few entries over here, one for each button. So let's copy this line from here and let's paste it. And we'll change the name for this one from initial score to description, increment, home score. And we'll change the string to increase home score. We'll copy it and do the same for the away. So we will change the home to away, and here we'll also change it to the away. Now we have to do the same for decrementing the score. So we'll copy it, paste it, and we'll change increment to decrement, and here we will also change it to the decrement, and also here. And the last one will be for resetting the score. So let's copy it again, paste it, and we'll change it to the reset score, and we'll give it a name of the reset score. Looks good. We can go back to our design view. And here we want to look for the content description attribute. We want to click the button next to it, and it's the away, and it is for the incrementing. So we want to select this one. So it's increment away score, and we want to click OK. We want to do the same for the home, so we have to select the button, click it over here, and it will be incrementing for home. So it will be this one, and we want to click OK. We can see that the warnings from the components tree disappeared. So now we can proceed with adding the additional buttons. So again, we want to drag and drop image button, but now we want to add it to the last row. And this time we'll select the remove resource and we want to click OK. We'll change the ID to the image button and it will be decrement home. We want to hit enter and refactor, and we want to set the layout weight to 1, and we also want to hit enter. Now we can copy it and paste again, and we'll change the ID of the new image button from the home to away, and we have to refactor it. Also, we have to add this content description attribute. So we want to look for the content description. We want to click the button, and this time it will be decrementing, and now we are on the away. So we want to select this one and select OK. And also we want to do the same for the home. So we want to repeat it, and it will be decrement for the home. And we want to click OK. Okay, we have almost everything in place. We are missing the last one button for resetting the score, but we can also see that we are missing the TableRow. So we have to add one more. We want to go to the layouts, and from here we want to select TableRow. We have to drag it and drop it over here. And now we can add the reset button. So we want to go back to the buttons. We want to select image button and drag it to our new TableRow. And now we will select the clear icon and we'll hit OK. Let's add the content description in the first place. So we want to click the button over here and we want to select this one, which is the reset score, and we want to click OK. Let's get rid of the content in the search field and we'll change the ID of our image button. And let's say it will be image button clear score, and we'll hit enter and refactor. And let's also change the weight of this button so it will take all the space for this row. Before we'll move on, we have to configure one more thing for our app, and we have to configure the use of the vector support libraries. And this is because we are using the image buttons with the icons. To do it, we have to go to the project, and over here we have to open the Gradle scripts part, and from here it is very important to select the module Gradle file, not the project grade file. So we want to click over here, and in this default config part at the bottom we want to add the vector drawables.use support library, and we want to set it to true. And now we have to synchronize our project, and it's also nice to click this sync now over here. Let's also apply these suggestions. I don't know why, but this great synchronization was frozen for some time, so I have decided to restart the Android Studio, and after that I went to the file and I clicked this sync project with great files, and now it's good. So we can go back to the design view over here. Okay, so I think right now the UI part is ready, everything is in place. We also don't have any errors or warnings, so we can move to the main activity class and implement the logic for our application. Here we will start with adding the properties to our main activity class. And those two properties will store the references to the text views with the score. So let's get started. We'll go over here before the onCreate method, and we want to create private property, and which is very important. This property will be late init, which means that we'll initialize it later, and it will be the var type, and we will call it TextView home score, and it will be the type of TextView. So this one will store the reference to the home score TextView component, and we'll also need the same for the away score. So again, we want to say private late init var TextView away score, which is the type of TextView. Okay, so we have our properties which will store the references, and now we have to initialize them. And we can do it in the onCreate function. So we want to go over here and we want to say TextView home score, and we want to assign to it the result of the findViewById method, and using the R class ID we want to access our TextView home score component from the UI. And why we want to access TextView home score component? This is because if we will go to the design view, we can see that here we have the component that is the type of TextView, and it has the TextView home score ID. And later in our code we will update the value of this component. We want to do the same for the away score, so we will say TextView away score, and we want to assign to it findViewById. Again, we are using the R class ID, and this time we will access TextView away score. And now we will implement functions which will update the value of those TextView components. In the first place, we'll take care of incrementing the home score. So we'll go over here, we'll say fun, which stands for function, and we'll call it increment home score, like this. To increment the score, in the first place, we have to know what is the current score. So we have to say val, and it will be the variable current home score, and we want to assign to it the TextView home score. So we are accessing our TextView component, and we want to retrieve the current text from it by using the text attribute, and now by calling toString method. So we have accessed the TextView home score component, and we have retrieved the text, which is the type of the char sequence. So this is why we have called the toString method to convert it to the string. And after that, we have stored the result in the current home score variable. Now we want to increment the score, so we have to go over here and we'll create a new variable which will be called incremented home score. And now we want to use our current home score variable, and we want to call toInt method, and now we'll call the increment method. So it is pretty straightforward. We have converted our string value to the integer value, and thanks to that we are able to call the increment method on it. Finally, we are storing it in the incremented home score variable. The last step is to update the home score on the UI, and to do it we want to access the TextView home score component, and now we want to access the text attribute, and we'll assign to it our incremented home score, and we will convert it to the string. Okay, and this is the logic for incrementing the score for the home TextView component. And now we have to attach this function to the button onClick event, but right now it will be not possible because our increment home score function is not accepting view type argument. To fix this, we want to add view parameter with the type view. And we have to, of course, import it. Thanks to that, now we can go to the design view over here. We can click the increment home score button, and over here from the attributes we want to look for the onClick. And now we can select the increment home score method from the main activity. And right now the method is attached to the onClick event for this button. We want to repeat this step also for the away score, so let's go back to our main activity class. And the fastest way to implement increment away score will be to copy this function from here, paste it over here, and we will change the name from the increment home score to increment away score. And we'll also do some refactoring inside. So we want to change the current home score to the current away score. And I will hit Shift F6. So we'll be able to refactor it. And we'll change the current home score to current away score. We can see that this variable over here and over here has been changed. And we'll also do the same for this one, so it will be incremented away score. And one more thing we have to do is to change the TextView component which we want to update, because right now we want to increment the away score and we are working with the home score TextView. So we'll go over here, we'll copy the reference to the TextView away score and we'll replace it over here and also over here. And now we will implement the logic for decrementing. So we'll copy those functions and we'll paste them over here. And right now we'll change the increment to the decrement over here and also over here. Also we'll update names of the variables inside, so we'll change incremented home score to the decremented home score, and we'll do the same for the away score, and we'll do it like this. And now it looks good. And of course we don't want to increment the score but to decrement it. So instead of calling inc method, we want to call the decrement method here and also for the home. We have one more method to implement and it is reset score. So we will say function reset score, and it also has to accept the view argument, and it will simply set the 0 score for both of the teams. So we want to access the TextView home score text attribute and we want to set it to the 0, but we have to convert it to the string. And we want to do the same for the TextView home score. We want to access the text attribute and we want to set it to the 0, and also we have to call the toString method. But I don't like the approach like this where we are using the magic numbers, so let's create the constant for it. So we'll go to the top of our class and over here we'll create something that is called companion object. So when you need the property or method that should be shared across the instances of the specific class, you want to use the companion object. And to create one, we want to say companion object, and we have to give it a name. So it will be score value, let's say, and inside we'll specify the constant. So we'll say const val, and we'll say it will be 0 constant, and we want to assign to it 0. And now we can scroll to the bottom, and instead of 0 we can use our constant like this. Okay, so methods looks good, our business logic is ready, so we can go back to our UI, view, and over here we'll add the methods to the onClick events for our buttons. So over here we want to add the function that is called increment away score, and also over here for the home we want to add decrement home score. For this one it will be decrement away score, and for the last one we have the special function which is called reset score. Okay, so our application is ready to start. All we have to do is to select the Android virtual device and click the play button. Okay, so it took a while to build the application for the first time and to start the emulator itself, but now we can start testing our application. So let's increment score for home, and we can see that it is working. Now let's try to decrement. It's good. Same goes for the away. And if we click the clear button or the reset one, we have the 0. And again, we can start counting from the beginning. One thing that is not covered in this video is handling the negative score. So this is a challenge for you guys to implement this code. Okay, so this is all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. And remember about liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, bye.